Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. Today is 10th of July 2019 and the topics for discussion are Automated Facial Recognition System, Plan B, Jan Dhan Yojana, Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, BCBS, MAPAGAT program and previous year question revision series. Now coming to the first topic is Automated Facial Recognition System. So this is in news because the National Crime Records Bureau has released a request for proposal for an automated facial recognition system to be used by the police officers in the country. Now we'll talk about the automated facial recognition. So now automated facial recognition system, that is AFRS, works by maintaining a large database with photos and videos of people's faces. Now, so basically this is in this what happens is a new image of an unidentified person is taken from CCTV footage and is compared to the existing database so that a match is found to identify who the person is. That is how the system works. Now, the artificial intelligence technology used for finding pattern and matching in the system is called neural networks. Now, currently, facial recognition in India is done manually. Now, if you think about it, this AFRS can play a very vital role, okay, in improving outcomes in the area of criminal identification and verification. Okay, this will also facilitate easy recording, analysis, retrieval, and sharing of information between the different organizations in the country. Okay, now this new facial recognition system will be integrated with other systems also. Some examples for that is the Integrated Criminal Justice System, that is ICJS. Then there are many state-specific systems will be there. For one state, there will be many other systems. For another state, there will be other systems. For all that, integrated database will be created. And then there is the Immigration, Visa and Foreign Registration and Tracking, and the Khoya Paya portal on missing children, and many other systems. This facial recognition system will be integrated to it. Okay, now let's talk about the National Crime Records Bureau. Now, this is the nodal agency for the authentic source of data on crime, accidents, suicides, and prisons for policy matters and research. So, if you know about this, then you'll understand this will function as a repository for information on crime and criminals, obviously. This will also assist the investigators in linking crime to the perpetrators, I mean the people who are doing the crime. It is mandated to empower the Indian police with information and technology, and is responsible for collecting and maintaining and analyzing the crime data in the country. Okay, so you'll understand this is also facilitating the investigative officers with the updated IT technology tools, the information and communication technology also for the investigation of crimes. Now, NCRB is part of the Ministry of Home Affairs under Government of India. So now, NCRB was set up in 1986, and it is based on the recommendations of National Police Commission and the Home Affairs Ministry's task force. I mean, National Police Commission was conducted in 1977 to 1981, and the MHA's task force was conducted in 1985. So, on the basis of these two commissions and this NCRB was created. Okay, now this bureau is the implementing and monitoring agency for the implementation of the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System. This is a new project under the Government of India, and this project aims to create a comprehensive and integrated system for the enhancing and efficiency and effectiveness of the policing in our country. So, to make it a better policing system for tracking all the criminals and all the crimes that is happening, so it will be making our police system as policing in our country more efficient and effective. Now, this bureau is also the apex nodal agency for all the fingerprint related matters. Okay. Now, the NCRB is currently rolling out the National Automated Fingerprint Identification System, that is NAFIS, and it is being integrated to CCTNS, that is the Crime and Criminal Tracking Network System. Now, NCRBs impart training in information technology, as I just told you, and fingerprint science for Indian police officers and also police officers of the neighboring foreign countries. They are, training those people in IT and fingerprint sciences. All right. Now let's come to the next topic, that is Plan B. Now Plan B is in news because the Northeast Frontier Railway was given the Best Innovation Award in Indian Railways for the year 2018-19 because of this plan called Plan B. Okay. Now this is a news, we'll talk about this plan because this is an initiative to prevent the speeding trains from hitting elephants crossing tracks. You know that this is a major issue in many of the forested regions all across our country, wherein the trains will be, the railway tracks are spread across many of the elephant corridors or elephant regions, elephant rich regions. And when they travel in their own corridor, when they travel from one region to the other, they'll end up crossing a railway track. And most of the time these tracks, there'll be trains going through them, and the trains cannot, maybe we will not spot these elephants at night, or maybe even if they try to stop, it is too late and they have a collision and the elephants die. So it is this one initiative, Plan B, is to avoid that. Okay. Now the amplifying system imitates the buzz of a swarm of honeybees. Okay, and which keeps the wild elephants away from the railway tracks. Basically, what happens is along the railway tracks itself, they will keep some system wherein which will produce a buzzing sound of honeybees. Okay, and these honeybees and elephants don't go together very well. So the elephants will not go into a region where there is a lot of honeybees. Now this was launched in November of 2017 to stop the elephants from being hit by the speeding trains in the Northeast Frontier Railway. And this has been tested, and it has been very successful and has reduced the number of casualties drastically. Basically speaking, the buzz sound from these systems will be heard by the elephants almost 600 meters away itself, and they will not try to cross the line across the railway tracks. So this is how the system is being successful. Now let's come to the next topic, which is Jan Dhan Yojana. Now Jan Dhan Yojana is in news because in the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, almost 34.73 crore accounts has been opened by public sector banks. Okay. Now this public sector bank will also include RRBs, that is regional rural banks, and 1.26 crore accounts has been opened by major private banks. So you can understand 37.73 crores opened by public banks and 1.26 crore accounts have been opened by private banks. Alright, now let's talk about the Yojana. Now it is the national mission of financial inclusion which seeks to ensure that the poorest of the poor will get access to various financial services in our country. So the objective of the Jan Dhan Yojana is to ensure access to various financial services, like availability of basic saving bank accounts, and access the need for basic credit, taking credit from the banks, remittance facilities are there, insurance and pensions are also there for the weaker sections and the low income group in these rural areas. Alright, it was launched in August of 28th of August 2014 with the aim to provide universal access to banking facilities with at least one basic banking account for every household. This is how it was launched. Now, it also envisages the channeling of all government benefits to the beneficiary accounts and pushing the direct benefit transfer scheme of the central government. So here what we're talking about is that this will take off all the middlemen and directly give the subsidy benefits or any other benefits that the government has promised to the beneficiary directly into their bank account. So that is why this bank account is also very important for people. Usually what an issue used to be till now is that there are many middlemen between the government and the real beneficiary. Now what happens is the government will give some amount of money which should be reaching to the beneficiary directly, but what happens is while going through these middlemen, the middlemen will take their commission, and finally the amount that is reaching the beneficiary is very little, very meager. So it is not enough for them. So from Jan Dhan Yojana, when all these poor people in rural as well as urban areas are having a proper bank account, the government of India will directly put the money into their bank account. So direct benefit transfer is the scheme by the central government, and for that the this Jan Dhan account is very important. Alright, now let's talk about a few features under this Yojana. So first is there is no minimum balance needed for this account, which means you can have a zero balance account. The second thing is the beneficiaries will get a RuPay debit card, which is already having an accident insurance cover. Now this accident insurance cover is that, let's talk about that a little bit. Basically the government has enhanced the accident insurance cover from 1 lakh to 2 lakh for new accounts, which has been opened from August of 2018, and the scheme also provides a life cover which is rupees 30,000 payable on the death of the beneficiary, subject to fulfillment of certain eligibility conditions. Okay, now this government has also shifted its focus from every household to every unbanked adult. As I told you earlier, this account had looked forward for giving an account for every household. So in a household, if there are 4 people, earlier the government's aim was to give at least one house, in a single household, at least one account. But now the government is focusing on, instead of giving a household one account, each and every unbanked eligible member should get an account. So if there are 4 eligible members in a household, instead of just one account in a household, there should be 4 accounts in the household. So that is what the government is aiming for. Now over 50% of the Jan Dhan accounts holders are women. So that is a very good thing to hear, that women are being empowered through this, and 59% accounts are in rural and semi-urban areas. So it is also benefiting the people from rural areas. Alright, now coming to the next topic is Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, that is BCBS. Okay, now this is in news because the Basel Committee finds that recently the RBI's certain changes in its rules. Basically, RBI's large exposure rules is stricter than it's required to be. So that is why this committee is in news, because the Basel Committee said that RBI's certain rules are much more stricter than it should be. Now let's talk about BCBS. Now the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision is the primary global standard setter for the prudential regulation of banks and provides a forum for regular cooperation on banking supervisory matters. Okay, now the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision was formed in 1974 by the central banks from the G10 countries. Okay, so now you should know what the G10 countries are. You have many G countries. Now of this, the G10 countries actually consist of 11 industrialized nations. When I say industrialization, I mean the wealthy countries back in 1974, whichever the main wealthy countries, this was there. Now I'll tell the members in that. There is Belgium, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, United Kingdom and United States. Now of this there are 11 countries that I just told you, and this is G10, which actually means, except for Switzerland, which is playing a minor role, all the other major countries. So they have a group of 10 major countries plus Switzerland. Now the committee is headquartered in the office of Bank of International Settlement, that is BIS, in Basel, which is situated in Switzerland. Now it's a 45 member body which comprises of central banks and bank supervisors from 28 jurisdictions. Now its mandate is to strengthen the regulation, supervision and practices of the banks worldwide with the purpose of enhancing financial stability. Okay, so this is what its main mandate is. Now the decisions taken by the Basel Committee has no legal force. Okay, so basically it does not possess any formal supranational authority, but rather the BCBS relies on its members' commitments to achieve its mandate. So for example, if it gives out a few rules that has to be followed by the members, it is not necessary or legally binding on the members to follow it. They can follow it if they want to, but they will give certain rules which is actually good for all, so that the financial structure of the world is not deteriorating, but in fact is growing. So it is up to the members itself to follow or regulate their banking norms in such a way that it follows the norms given by the Basel Committee. This is what it is saying. Now let's talk about Basel Accords. Basel Accord is very important. Actually, Basel Accords are basically set of 3 banking regulations. Okay, that is Basel 1, Basel 2 and Basel 3. Uh, all the 3 Basel Accords have been set by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, which provides recommendation on banking regulations in regard to capital risk, market risk and operational risk. You know, the banking sector is undergoing a lot of undergo a lot of risks while its operation. You know, what if the capital suddenly goes down, or the market crashes, or during operation somewhere down the line there's a structural issue. All of these risks are incorporated when the Basel Accords have been put forward. So what they're saying is the Basel Accords basically will provide regulations in regard to dealing with these risks. So as I told you, the BCBS was established by the central bank governors of the G10 countries at the end of 1974. Okay. Now 1974, because there was a serious international currency and banking issue during that time. So after that, the countries came together and decided that a body should be created which looks forward for progressive economic development of the world in international currency and banking. Now the purpose of Basel Accord is to ensure that financial institutions have enough capital on account to meet the obligations and absorb unexpected losses. As you know, again, the risks incorporated in the banking sector is very high. So the Basel Accord looks in for any banking institution in the country will have enough capital so that it can take in a little bit of the shocks that is happening in the market or outside. That is why it is there. Now India has accepted the Basel Accords of banking system and is presently following the Basel II norms. Understand, India is not following the Basel III norms, even though Basel III has been put forward, has been released. India as of now is following the Basel II norms, and as I told you again, the Basel Accords are not binding on any country. Therefore, India also this is not binding, but India is following the Basel II norms. But again, as I told you, India must adopt its national policies in order for the Basel norms to be enforced, so that there are better risk reduction in our banking sector. All right. Now coming to the MAPAGAT program, today we'll be talking about the Ramsar sites of Gujarat. Now Ramsar, Gujarat only has one Ramsar site, that is the Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary. Now, as you can see the location of Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary is very close to Ahmedabad. Now let's talk about Nal Sarovar. So basically, this bird sanctuary consists of primarily a lake and ambient marshes. Okay, there's a lake and marshy region across it, so it's a wetland region, and it is mainly inhabited by migratory birds in winter and spring. So that is why it's a bird sanctuary also, where many of the migratory birds come and settle here for some time. They breed also, and they take refuge for a certain during the winter time or in the Siberian cold regions. They come and migrate over here and take shelter from the harsh winter of the Siberian region. And this is the largest wetland bird sanctuary in Gujarat and also one of the largest in India. Now it harbors over 250 species of wetland birds. You know, some examples for that is the rosy pelican, flamingos, white storks, herons, etc. Now the Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary was designated as a Ramsar site in September of 2012. Now coming to the previous year question revision series, I'll read out the question. So now, consider the following statements. The Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program was launched during 1996 to 97 to provide loan assistance to poor farmers. That is the first statement. The second statement is the Command Area Development Program was launched in 1974-75 for the development of water use efficiency. Okay. So this question actually needs a little bit of knowledge. If you know this question only, you can attempt this question. It's a little difficult question. If I have to say personally, if I did not know the statements, I would not attempt this question. Now coming to this question, I'll tell you, both of the questions seems that usually if somebody has read something about it, you will feel that the answer would be C, that is 1 and 2, but the answer is not 1 and 2. The answer is B, 2 only. Why? Because in option A, I mean the first statement, that is the accelerated irrigation benefits program, was launched in 96-97, that is correct, to provide loan assistance to poor farmers. Okay, now accelerated irrigation benefit program was uh, launched for giving loan assistance, but it was not to the poor farmers, it is basically given to the states. So only if you know this, you can attempt this question. That is why this is a little difficult question. This benefit program was given to the states so that the states can make irrigation facilities for the poor farmers. That is how the sequence goes. So in this case, the answer for this question is option B, that is 2 only. Alright, so that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have any doubts or queries, you can write down in the comment section below. Thank you.